Yeah. Hey, namaskar. Yeah. So I think I have already mentioned these things in my audios that went in through WhatsApp. Yeah, unfortunately, it was in Malayalam, so that's fine. I'm Vijay. I'm Vijay Kerala Varma. I'm I am based out of Australia, but yeah, it has been some time since we wanted to meet. Yes, yeah, I had an opportunity to actually set up some time because of the time zone differences. Yeah, now I'm in US for some time, so that's fine. Um, anyway, so my thing is, I'm from Tripura. I belong to Cochin Royal Family. I am basically a software engineer by profession, but past 20, 25 years, 25 maybe. Yeah, I've been doing a lot of research on history, especially on Kerala and especially on the history of Cochin Royal Family and other related royal families. Because when you start with the history of Cochin Royal Family, you need to understand other royal families as well, because history of Kerala pretty much that is defined before the advent of Portuguese, and even after the advent of Portuguese, until let me say Martanda Varma, it would be Cochin Royal Family plays an important role in that. So yeah, I do a lot of research on that. I'm not a historian. I can call myself as a history analyst who just analyzes why things happened, how it happened, what happened, when it happened, kind of things, right? So I go with that. So I'm basically a history analyst, not a historian. So I ask questions to people so that they can answer those questions. So usually when I get into a conversation with someone, I ask for questions. I ask questions so that I can be clear and I can analyze what they are thinking, what I am thinking, and what evidences or what things what are the things that are transparent. How can I make or how can I make those things transparent? That's what I basically look for. So yeah, that's what I do. That's part of my hobby, if I can say. Yeah, sorry for that filter in my eyes because of it's because there's a lot of reflection coming off from there. I'm not in my home, like usual home, away. So yeah, I'm working. I'm in US right now. So yeah, that's fine. Yeah, Ambotti Thampuran. Yes. Uh, who is he? I don't know. I have I have gone through history of Kerala in detail to an extent, like till maybe from when the record started, like that is like let us say 1500s, up till now. I haven't found a reference in history with by the name of Ambotti Thampuran. So I don't know who Ambotti Thampuran is, what title it is, whether it has been referred in history. I haven't seen that yet. That doesn't mean that it is not there, but if there are evidences, I'll be happy to look at it. Right. So I haven't seen that. Now, if you ask me, there are many Sandesha Gavyas and many other documents that are before 1500s that are available. I haven't seen in those. At least whatever documents I have seen, I haven't seen it in this particular reference to Ambotti Thampuran. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure like what it is. Uh, completely is. Yeah, there is this guy whom I have been very open about in the last 1.5 years or so. Manoj G Nair. Yeah, but he calls himself Ambotti Thampuran, the Pulikkal Sankarodath Kovilakam in KAVILPAD, THEKKUMPPURAM KAVILPAD, Palavakode, Palakkad. Yeah, in Kerala. Yeah, he is claims to be Ambotti Thampuran, but I haven't seen any historical evidence which says that there was such a title. Not even in any of these families that used to have these titles, like Palachanur or there are different titles that used to go around, right? Anji Kaimal titles, or part of Anji Kaimals, or let us say, uh, for example, any other titles like Karnavar in some places and all, right? So you don't see much of these. I haven't. I don't know if anyone else has come across this title, but I have to clearly say that this it's a completely made up thing. This word Bodhi is used to refer to God, okay, in Kerala. So I have not in my place, but I have heard a lot of people referring to everybody will keep a puja muri or something in their houses, and they used to say before you go off or for before doing anything, put money to Amboti, right? So this guy has actually used this name to a good effect. put a Thampuran as a prefix, a suffix into it, and just it is psychologically affecting people. So in my work, I usually I work as an product development coach in software companies. So behavioral development or behavioral management is very important here, right? So we look at behaviors of people. So there are there are evident behaviors that are open to people, like you can see in open, like, and then there is this influential behaviors, right? You start influencing people by putting in certain words and certain things into that, and this is exactly what he has done here, right? So he has clearly tried to influence his devotees by putting in this Ambotti and then the Thampuran. He was actually initially called Uni Ambotti, right? He himself used to tell, or he started asking his people to call him Uni Ambotti, right? And then I don't know when it became Ambotti Thampuran, but it's a very big transition, right? So yeah, fooling people, influencing. Yeah, that's it. That's what he's doing. Okay, that's an interesting question, right? Who what's his real background, right? I would say I don't want to take any names or anything, but his real background is he had some issues as a child, or he still has. I don't know. People will have to tell, but he had some issues as a child. People used to make fun of him because of his particular peculiar effect. People never would take him in a bike or carry him on the back of the bike, and that's what I heard from a lot of these people. I don't go into all these things. I don't care what they say, right? I'm not worried about those things, especially because that doesn't come into my view of things. My view of uh, then I think he himself has said that he's a 10th pass, like he passed 10th standard, which I don't have any evidence to say that, because I'm looking at evidences, right? And I believe in evidence-based management as part of my job. So I hear in history as well, I believe in evidence, right? There can be real evidence, there can be made up evidence and everything, but I haven't seen anything like. So after his 10th, he goes away somewhere. And then after 3 or 4 years, he comes back, and then he with another person, and then they start building this temple and stories and everything. So he himself has printed a lot of stories before, like 2008, 2009, 2010, that time, and again in 2011, 2012. And yeah, it goes on, right? So he's built that. Then what his real background is, his real name is Manoj G Nair. Okay, so Manoj Gopalakrishnan Nair, that's his father's name. His father's name is Kavangal Gopalakrishnan Nair. His mother's name is Malliga, I think, uh, which V is actually Velattirittu, the matriarchal system, and then they call themselves the Velattirittu family. They used to call themselves Velattirittu family. So it was called V Malliga. Okay, and he started doing this Nagaradhana, like he started doing Nagaradhana and all, and he said he built up some stories. Again, there are a lot of stories which I have published in my Facebook posts, which have real contradiction among itself. In one, it says his grandmother sees a golden serpent when she was around 16 years. Then in another story, he says when she was 5 years, 11 years difference. I don't know when it came, when that change happened. The change happened sometime in 2017 something. And then in one story, he says the idols are Swayambhu, that means self-manifested. Some places they say it was actually buried under the sand, and in one rain it actually opened up. So you can't believe his stories in different time frames, right? 2007, 2009, he has given some part of the story. 2012, 15, 16, he has given some stories. 2021, 22, there's a completely different set of stories, right? So it's a sequential building up of stories. As in, like, I'm an agile software developer. Like, if you understand what agile software development is, it is refining, building the best product, building it again and over again. This guy has done a wonderful job here, right? He has done a wonderful agile software development or agile product development. His product of Ambotti Thampuran, he has created a beautiful product by going through multiple iterations, and he has created that something brilliant, right? I have to agree to that. He has created a story that is completely brilliant. And for me, like, I feel like, oh, that's beautiful product development that he has done, right? And he has gotten customers like anything, right? He has people from high court judges to politicians to member of parliaments to everyone to believe his story, right? Until I started bringing this out, right, in public. So being a software developer, agile software developer, I completely understand how he refined and how he built up his story over the period, right? And he has a beautiful product, right? I have to agree to that. Anyway, just going on to his background. right? Who is Ambotti Thampuran? Uh, uh, what's his real background? Yeah. So he's called a Veluttadu Nair family. He's from a Veluttadu Nair family. So his father's name is Colonel Gopalakrishna Nair. Even though after his death, he changed his father's name to Gopalakrishna Raja. It beats me how he can do that. And much more than that, he has changed his grandmother's name around like 4 or 5 times. Some names that it is not existing in the dictionary itself or in our history itself. It beats me like how he can do that without doing all these things. Anyway, that's his real background. So he has a doctorate that is given, honorary doctorate that's given to only people who hold bachelor's degrees. And he himself has said in a video that he's a 10th standard guy in an audio that he has finished only 10th standard, right? So I don't really yeah, that's these are the things, these are the evidences that you directly say, yeah, he's a fraud, he's a fake, right? And I had no doubt when I started delving into it, like he was a fake, right? So yeah, that's the his background. Right? Good question. Why am I doing this, right? First of all, right, I'm a history analyst. Right? People, and I don't like people getting cheated. Basically, right? That's my, I don't know, maybe my upbringing or something. If I see something is not right, I want to be vocal. Right? In my childhood, my parents had given me full opportunity to voice my concerns. Right? And if my concerns are valid, they used to listen to it and make sure it is looked after, right? So that's how my upbringing is. So I did, as soon as I saw this, right? I knew, and I'm not saying that to glorify anything, but my thing here is like, if you have done a mistake, say that you have done a mistake. Going again with the agile software development philosophy, you go to the retrospectives or the file values, Scrum values. You be open, you respect each other, and you come out and say, "Yeah, this is the problem. Unless somebody corrects me, I'm ready. I'm open to be corrected. Unless somebody corrects me, I know that is wrong." Right? That's my thing. So when I look at this and the way he is trying to do things, like have you? I don't know if you have seen any videos, but if you have seen any, you'll see like the things that he does, especially he talks about Nagara and the way he uses fire to. You have seen the Sapatnam, right? The way you see how he has is using fire is like that is an anti-pattern, right? We call like in software development, I call use this word anti-pattern a lot, right? So this is an anti-pattern to what he does. So there's a lot of fire that he does. This whole Sapatnam was an anti-pattern, right? Surprise name was a completely big anti-pattern. How can I say that? Because Surprise name, like when they came out with some pamphlets and some PDF files that they shared before the Surprise name, they said after Janamaja, this is the first time that we are doing Surprise name and all. And that is for following on the footstep of Janamaja or something like that. He wrote something. It's been more than a year. I don't remember exactly. But actually, what did Janamaja do Surprise name for? Do you know? He did it to destroy all the snakes or all the serpents that are existing, right? Because Vasui or Takshagan killed Parikshit, right? Um, what makes it strange is this guy says he's brought Sarpas and then he starts doing Sarpas. Now, this is when you believe that there is God, right? He was doing Sarpas, then he started pouring water into that yajna, Homaganda. You don't do that. In any homeowners, you don't douse the fire. You're respecting the fire. Then if you're pouring water, you're dousing the fire. Nobody does water hova into homeowner, right? This guy is a real fraud, and how he maligns and put things across these beats me, right? How can he should have been a script writer in movies, right? He should have gone and tried his things in movies. Now he's acting it in real life. And there are fools who believe in. That's the thing. There are high court judges who are with him. There are municipal chairpersons who are with him. The person who contested for MLA, like I saw a video yesterday, where he's there with him. Yeah, the Krishna Kumar, BJP. Yeah. And there used to be Srivantan, the MP from Palakkad, who was there before with him. And luckily, the Malambur MLA was saved from being with him because of my intervention, right? And this was like last year. Right? There's a lot of people who are saved in that, but still, like, yeah, there are people, so many fools around. I don't believe how much Malayalis doesn't understand. Right? I have real evidence, and I'm happy to be proven wrong by him, and he will never come out against me. Right? So I'm not trying to malign him. Come out with evidence what he has. Yeah, tell me why you did separate and why did you pour water into it, right? And the slogan he used, I don't know if you know about slogan, that we use when we before we go into bath or something like that, right? Narmade Sindhu Kaveri. That I mean, I know I don't want to say that now, but yeah, that's the thing, right? Um, he's that's what I believe. Like he's a real fraud. I don't believe. I'm not maligning him. I'm trying to help people, right? Anyone who gets cheated, like Sanadana Dharma is a big thing now, right? Sanadana Dharma, people say it is a big thing. It is to an extent. It's very good. We believe in that. That's our core of our Hindu ideology or Indian philosophy. I don't call it Hindu. Let us say it's Indian philosophy. So right, it's the base of that, and I completely agree that people want to be say these things aloud, like these are good. You need to do this. You need to worship Nagas. Yes, I do that. You do that. Yeah, that's the thing. And then uh, trying to cheat people by doing all these things. I don't. And he's taking off like the tantris and the Orikins, everyone. He's trying to make fool of them, right? I don't want to go much, but I'm doing this so that people understand these type of fakes and frauds and don't spend money on these guys. So he has built a trust where all the money comes into the trust, and then trust maintains this guy. So you know how everything works, right? He gets a lot of money into the trust. He has a lot of money, I'll tell you. He has got a lot of money all over, and you know how the temples come in, and he runs this as a company and an organization, and he tries to do that. He has support for that. Isha Yoga Center, they support him a lot by sending their devotees to his place for all the Nagaradhana and other things. So yeah, let us see how it is. But my thing is, he has rights. If he has rights, he has to come out and come and tell me that every allegation that I have put against him is wrong. He has to come out and tell that, right, with evidence. I'm not aligning him. I've always said he's a fraud or fake, only with the evidences that are in front of me, right? So, yeah, if and I've given enough evidence from history, not from recorded history, not from just recorded history, from other places as well as what happened. Okay, so yeah, that's why I'm trying to do this. If I can help at least one person be saved from that, which obviously has happened, I'm really happy with that, right? So yeah, no, yeah, that's no, I haven't met him in person. I don't know him personally as well. I haven't talked to him. I don't know anything about him. All I know is about like people who have dealt with him. I have talked to some of them. Like when my first audio came out, was maybe second, I think. A lot of people reached out to me a lot of people who have been affected by him have reached out to me. Like some but through messages, some through audio messages. Some people called me and all those. So yeah, I haven't met this guy. I don't want to meet him as well. If I want to meet him, I'll ask these questions, and he should be able to answer those questions. What I ask, right? I've been open about it. You published your videos as well with that, right? So yeah, I don't want to meet him, right? So and I haven't met him personally. I don't intend to meet him as well, right? Uh, what wrong is Ambotti Thampuran? What wrong is Ambotti Thampuran doing? I don't know what right he's doing. That I think that should have been your question. What right he's doing, right? Obviously, there's one thing right he's doing, that is framing the stories, right, and making people believe those stories, and framing the pujas and all those things. That what he does, right? So this is clearly a he is cheating people. So most of the Keralites now know about these things. There's less Kerala population going. There are still a lot of people going because either ignorance or of bhakti. Bhakti Mutta Prandal, and there's a saying in Malayalam, right? You become mad with devotion. Right? That's what is happening. I've talked to a lot of people, and the reasons they give. Like I've talked to one of the famous people, like or not the famous. Had a chat with one of wives of a former chief bureaucrat in Kerala. Um, and she was like, I know, Vijay, I know what you are saying is true, and I know what Amberta is saying is true, right? So two wrongs doesn't make something right, right? Or two truths cannot be two things of different perceptions cannot be the same perception and cannot be right. I don't know how she got that, but this is really, I was like really surprised when I got that reply. And this is like mad devotion. Right? So there are a lot of people who does that. High court judges go and follow him. Even after being told that this guy's a fraud, that person went and followed him, a retired high court judge. Right? A former chairperson or a chairperson like today, I think the election is today or yesterday, I don't know. The chairperson is a big follower. Right? Even after she knows that he's a fraud, she just wanted to go there. Palakkad municipality chairperson. BJP, that too. Yeah, a lot of BJP people actually follow. Shashikala teacher, I have heard it. She's not BJP, I think, but or I don't know whether she is. But she has said in a audio that she didn't know about this person. She couldn't otherwise she would have met him before. And this is like a 2022 audio or 23 audio, right? Yeah, you didn't know about him because this is a fully made up story, right? I should have told her that. I think I directly passed the message to her. Yeah, right. Kummanam Rajashekharan was there. Shobha Surendran was there. All these BJP people started going there. I'm not talking about people who went there before I came out, but at least the people who still go there even after I gave them evidence, right? Sanguti Das, he went there. I don't want to name those. Most of the BJP people still goes there, but not. I've not seen Sanguti Das in the recent after my exposés. Right. The best thing I had was I think Major Ravi, and he's like somebody called him and said, "Oh, this is a big temple. Go there." Even if after I told one of his aides that this is a fraud temple, I think he went over phone and did that. He didn't go there personally. So anyway, so there are a lot of things wrong he's doing, right? The pujas he does, I don't see any. I am not sure what things he follows, but I think he is completely overacting what he's doing. He's acting. Ambotti Thampuran is acting like he knows pujas. I don't know what mantras he speaks and all those things. Showboating, right? People believe more of show rather than there is a when I was when we talk to a lot of people, I hear this you go to a doctor, he immediately looks at you, he asks you a couple of questions and then writes a medicine and gives to you, right? There's one doctor, and then another doctor who takes like 20 minutes to talk to you, understand things, and then you uh, yeah, write some 10 or 20 tests that you need to do. You spend money on your pocket from your pocket, you do the test, go to doctor, he's like, oh, very good, and things. And then writes some other medicine or doesn't treat properly, or sometimes they do. Fortunately, they'll treat you properly. But it's the same thing. The other doctor is very good at diagnosis. This guy is not very good at diagnosis, maybe, or not a good doctor. I don't know. The people will say good about this doctor who took time and wrote those tests rather than the person who is like very experienced. And this is from my personal experience. I'm saying I talked to some people who used to say this about some doctors, but those doctors were really good. Like they will take 2 minutes to identify you because of their experience, right? From my experience of seeing pujas and everything, I know this guy is doing everything wrong, right? And I don't know how the Charmukha Vaidikin or Pranav Tandri or whoever it is, they go and still support him. I don't know why. What does he gives them? Maybe it is like when you go to you come to Cochin, our family, and they do some puja, they will give you dakshinas like 1,000 or 2,000 rupees to the max, not like overly big amounts, right? This guy is giving 1 lakh, 50,000, 1 lakh as dakshina for just one day. So, you want to go there because that's money and nothing trumps money, right? So, yeah, sitting in US, I shouldn't be saying this, but yeah, nothing trumps money, right? So, but yeah. Uh, that's what he's doing wrong. Everything. I cannot say what he's doing right. That is the thing. So everything he's doing is wrong. That's what I believe. Right. Good question. So what is Ambotti Thampuran? Ambotti Thampuran is a title. Right. So he says Ambotti Thampuran is a title of his family who attains that thing as Ambotti Thampuran. And he says this was stopped in 14th or 15th century. I don't know which document he refers to, but yes, he says it was stopped in 15th or 16th century. Right? Now, that's a title. Let us leave that. Tamburan, as you know, is a surname that is used as a respectful thing and as well as surnames, right? So in my family, like Cochin Royal Family, Tamburan is the surname, real surname of people, right? Most of them don't use it, but I know the generation before me, like till my mother's generation, they used to use that as a surname. Right? Uh, Now, isn't his real name Manavendra Varma? No, his original name, as per a lot of documents, what I have seen, is Manoj G Nair, Manoj Gopalashan Nair. Okay, so that's his original name. Now he was called Manu Swami at a time, and then he wanted to move away from that, Velutthirattu Nair family, and then attach himself with some royalty, so that his temple can prosper. So you attach a royalty to a temple. So, for example, Padmanabha Swami Temple, right, is related to Travancore royal family, and the riches that come with it, and people, how many people visit it. Yeah, that association. You go to Narangayakota, that is in Kozhikode, or Tali Temple, or Guruvayur, which is related to Samudri of reason, because it was earlier with Cochin Royal Family. But yeah, so all these temples like Tripunithura, our temple, they're all related with royalties, right? So more royalties or more fame in related to previous, like our history, more people will come in. That will give them more trust, like the devotees more trust, like they'll start trusting the temple and all those things. So he wanted his temple to be uh, like that. So that is where he changed his name to Manavendra Varma. Varma means a Kshatriya, so he put that in. It's not just Manavendra Varma, it's Manavendra Varma Yogadharipad. Okay. That is his original name as of now. Not original name, sorry. That is his real name now, according to what was published in the Gazette in 2022 or 23. I'm not sure which year, but yeah. The surprising part, he has another name before that, which is Manavendra Sharma. Kshatriya Kshema Sabha, which is the organization for all the Kshatriyas in Kerala, they have a quarterly magazine that comes out. And in this magazine, you know what he did? He published an article in 2021, October or November edition. I don't know which edition it is, but it was 2021. The date was 2021, late 2021. In that, he's called Manavendra Sarma, right? And then he goes on with this all coronation and all those things as you have gathered on. And April, March, or something like that in 2022, he publishes another article with the name Manavendra Varma. You know, I don't know how Kshatriya, how foolish the people or the editors in my Kshatriya Kshema Sabha were. Like, how can one person change from Sharma to Varma in like just like that, right? That's a comedy in itself. So Kshatriya Kshema Sabha, I would say, is another comedy by itself. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. Well, they haven't come out and said anything about it, even though I have tagged them a couple of times. I've asked a lot of these people, they don't comment on this because, Murkha Vishwasande, Vidushamadi, Samshaya Bhavati, right? Fools believe, and even the learned people, they'll be in doubt, right? Maybe I believe that is the case. They're the latter than the former, I believe. Yeah, so Manavendra Varma was not his real name. Now its official name is Manavendra Varma Yogadharipad. Is he a Yogadharipad? I don't know. Where would I start in this? So what is Yogadharipad? So in Kerala, there used to be things or places called temple kingdoms or Sanketams. Sanketams were called temple kingdoms, right? So it used to be around one major temple. Like for example, like if you're asking me about Sanketams, there used to be a lot of every major temple used to be Sanketam. So let me start with Vadakanathan. Thrissur used to be a Sanketam. Tripunithura was supposed to be a Sanketam. Suchindram had some sort of Sanketam thing. Tiruvalla was a Sanketam. Haripad, Subramanya Swami Kshetram was a Sanketam. Elangunapura is a Sanketam, one of the most important in the history of Kerala. After Vadakanathan maybe, or at equal to Vadakanathan, Elangunapura. Peruvanam, again another most very important place. Kaliparamba Rajarajeshwara Kshetram was a Sanketam, I believe. Thirukandiyur was a Sangeetham. So there are a lot of Sangeethams. There were a lot of Sangeethams around in and around Kerala, which were like used to have like 3 or 4 deshams or 5 deshams or villages, small villages, and the Nambudiri families in those villages used to actually manage the Sangeetham. And one of those people will become the administrator of the Sangeetham called Yogadharipad. It is an administrative position. It never had a religious title or a position, right? It was an administrative position based on people's experience. They used to put them into Sangeetham, right? This is what exactly Sangetams meant, right? And the head of Sangetam was Yogadiri, if he is from a Nambudiri family, or Yogadharipad, if he is from a Nambudiri or a Bhattadharipad or a Nambudripad family, right? And you ask me what is the difference between Nambudiri and Nambudripad? The Urivada difference. Okay. So anyway, so is he a Yogadharipad? No. There is a video. I think you have published that video, right? Which says what is the difference between? Oh, sorry, he goes to Palakkad Raja, and says, or the person who is holding that position right now, and says that he's going to be coronated as Trikandiyur Yogadari. Right now, Trikandiyur temple, as per historical records, there is a document called Vanyeri Grandhavari, not Vanyeri, Vanyeri Grandhavari, which actually details what it is. And there, the Yogadharipad used to be from the Ashtagraha members of those families, Nambudrimar, Adhimar, or something, and or Patilakar. I don't remember which one it is. It's confusing. I have to refer my notes. Anyway, but one of those used to become Yogadhari. Right? And he says he is Trikandiyur Yogadharipad. There is no way a Varma, that is a Kshatriya, has become a Yogadharipad. There is no reference in history. I'll tell you, there's no reference in history where a Kshatriya person has become a Yogadharipad. Okay, even in Nair, no. There is a Tachure Kaimal in Nizalakuda, a position, it's a completely different concept there. Okay. Anyway, so he says VETTATH RAJA is the Yogadharipad of Trikandiyur. No, never. If he can prove that to me with evidence, I will do whatever he says. Okay. If he can prove that to me with evidence. Now, he says in one of his articles, unique times, right? Or I don't know whether it is in Hindu Vishwa magazine. I don't know, either one of them. One of Unique Times is an interview kind of thing that was given to the reporter in this guy. And Hindu Vishwa was I think, something like one of the wives or wife of a former chief bureaucrat of Kerala wrote that article then. Right? I don't know which one. I don't know. Yeah, I think that's the case. Yeah. So in that he says you have to go through a penance of 12 years before you become a Yogadharipad. Okay. He has to do this, and anyway, he hasn't done that. Okay. After Upanayana, you have to do this, that, kind of. Now his Upanayana happened, I think, when he was 23 years old, or maybe 22 years old. That is 2012, 2013, that time, right? But he says it happened during when he was 13 years or 14 years, right? So that it falls into that category of 12 years thing, right? There are photos that are available, like which clearly would say he's about 18, 20 or something like that, in which he doesn't have any sacred thread across, like, these threads that, it doesn't have that. So it's a lie, right? You can easily get that lie off. But is he a yoga? So that was you want to get that level of spirituality, divinity. That's why he did that, right? He wanted to select a name which is not there for anyone else in Kerala, right? The last Yogadharipad was in 1800 or something, lived in 1800 or something like that. Nothing before that. So nothing after that. There was 1838. There is supposedly somebody was made a Yogadharipad, but I don't know how much power he had because by that time it was completely, the situation was different in Kerala. Right? Yeah, so he's not a Yogadharipad. There's no way he can prove that he's a Yogadharipad because Yogadharipad should always be a Nambudiri or a Brahmin. And this guy is a Varma, like with the real current name he has, it's a Varma. A Varma has never been a Yogadharipad in the history of Kerala. If it has and he has evidence, we should rewrite the history of Kerala. Right? That's my thing. Hope you are clear, like why he's not a Yogadharipad. Yeah. So let me put in the timeline, right? He was Manoj G Nair, right? He even has had a visiting card printed like sometime in 2012, 2013, which had Manoj G Nair, Unni Swami or Unni Ambotti, something like that written, right? Now, then what happened was, I told you, right? He's from a Nair family. Nothing, no caste basis or anything here, but I'm just saying. So, but you can't change people's and thinking. So he comes from Nair family, and he starts doing. Sorry, I got a message here. That's why. So he starts doing pujas. Now, when mentality of Kerala people, when Anayat does a puja, they don't like it usually. Some people. He doesn't have a thread. People start asking questions. He goes himself to Kalpati, some Tamil Brahmin there, does Upanayam for him. So now he has a thread, but then again he's called Manoj G Nair, right? So he wants to change his name. He wants to create a completely new identity. What he does, he goes in and starts researching what name will give him, uh, acceptance among the Hindu people and outside as well. So he starts looking at it, names. This is what I think. He can correct me if he thinks I'm wrong. He looks at names and Manavendra comes up. So usually Manavendra are put to people who are either like, who are Samanta Kshatriyas, like we call Samanta Kshatriyas in Kerala, like those people are who doesn't have thread, sacred thread, punul, right? Like Samarans and Valva Konaveri family, and you go up there to north, there are some families who doesn't have threads. So Manaveda or Manavendra is the name that is used by mainly, like you'll find a lot of these Samudri kings who had these names, Manavendra Raja. Right, so these guys, these not guys, these respected people, the Samudris, they used to have those names. So suddenly, what he does, he takes that name, right, Manavendra. Vendra, not Vendra, Manavendra. Okay, he takes that name. Now he needs to have a surname. So what he does, he takes Sharma as the surname. Maybe he's ignorant. He was ignorant at that time. He takes Sharma as his surname. Right? Fine, Manavendra Sharma, Brahmin name. Not usually found in Kerala, but North India you go, you find a lot of people with that surname. Good, right? Then what he does is he attaches Vellattiri to as a suffix. Now, where did Vellattiri come from? He wanted to change his Veluttira Nair family name, right? V Malliga, his mother's name, and all. Like the family name was called Veluttira, right? He wanted to change that because a lot of people usually used to, discriminate people. It's human behavior, right? Kerala people behavior, pucham, right? You call that. And he had that. He had a psychological effect because of that. Right? And people used to actually tell him to run off from places because of his certain behaviors, right? So he wanted to show these people that, and he wanted all of them to. I've written a blog. I think you may have seen that. He who writes a tiger. The same psychology, right? That novel psychology you apply it here. That's what has happened. So he changes his family name to Vellattiri, right? So the explanation for V comes in. And the thing is, like, he didn't forget to, he didn't want to remove his father's name at that time. So 2017, he changes his name from Manavendra Sharma, so Manoj G Nair, Gopalashan Nair, to Manavendra Sharma G Vellattiri, Gopalashan Vellattiri. Right? G is his father's name. He keeps that name, G there. So he becomes a Manavendra Sharma Vellattiri. Now, Vellattiri is a name that is called as the Raja of Valvanad. It's a title for Raja of Valvanad. Valvakonadri's short form is Vellattiri. There are enough historical evidences available in Kerala from Malabar Manual to Cochin State Manual to History of Kerala to any other book what you want. I can give you any book that you want. I'll give that name. Vellattiri is called the Raja, is a title for Raja of Valvakonad. How did this guy become Valvakonadri? Valvakonadri is usually selected from four Kovilakams. You would have seen I saw your video. Yeah, you would have seen me in the blogs, and you would have created that video, right? Yeah, I shared your video on Facebook as well. Aripura, Aidanari, Aripura, Kadanavana, and Mangada, I think. Yeah, four Kovilams, right? The people of those four Kovilams usually become military. How did this guy in Palakkad, who has no relationship with them yet, become military? Don't know. He even has Vellattiri written in his emblem, as the family trust emblem, right? It's written in Sanskrit, Vellattiri. And he uses that name for getting all the approvals. Manavendra Sharma Yogathirippad, Manavendra Varma Yogathirippad, alias Manavendra Sharma G Vellattiri. He uses that in many official records. What the is that, right? I don't understand. This is real forgery of a title that was existing in Kerala. Still exists, I think, under a title or thing. What? And the first part is I can't even believe that these family members, even after I reached out to them, they are not going against him. Because he has trademarked the name in his emblem, right? Or registered his emblem in that. How can beats me? It beats me. Are they afraid, or they're not? They're not together, or they're not formed together. I don't know why. Anyway, he's not a relative. And you can't have a Sarma become a Brahmin become a Vellattiri. That to a Brahmin, yeah. So Manavendra Sarma Vellattiri is a Brahmin becoming a Kshatriya, Samanta Kshatriya. Cannot happen. Similar to Manavendra Varma Yogathirippad, a Kshatriya becoming a Yogathirippad. Never. No. He's not a Vellattiri. He's not a Sarma or anything. He's just a fraud. I love Vettat. Vettat Raja. I, okay, so let me tell you the whole story of how I got into this. Okay, so this is the best place to actually tell that. So my grandfather is from his Illam, even though they're originally from the land of like the old Cochin. They actually went there to Vettat, and it's one of the three branches of the Payur, the Kanipayur family, right? So there are Palakkad Payur, Kanipayur, and Vettat Payur. They're all related. They all came from one family. So they went in. My grandfather, they I don't know, like many generations back, they went and settled down in Vettat, right? There was a saying in Vettat at that time as well. Vettat മറുകടയും ദാസിയുമില്ലാതെ അന്തർജനങ്ങൾക്ക് നിരക്കാം. No. So that means that, so this I heard like long back. The എട്ട് kadam is a distance calculation. In Vettata, you can, the wives of Nambudiris can go without fear, without the dasis and any olakuda, and that is the umbrella, the family umbrella, without fear, because it was all Nambudiri households that was there. Right? So my grandfather is from Vettata. They used to be very closely associated with Alvanjiri Thambrakalam as well, their family. Right? That's their illam, and the Alvanjiri Thambrakalam was like hardly 10, 15 minutes walk or something like that. But anyways, so they were associated. They were in that place, and they inherited some temples there. Like there are 4 or 5 temples that they inherited. Now, the Vettata was ruled by this Raja, and there was a story in our temple, or their temple, which is where the Vettat Raja, before he goes to any war, which in long back, there are a lot of them, they used to do a Varivada or a offering called Padahar, okay, in this temple. So I knew that and all those things, and Vettat Raja was closely related to that. So the first time I heard about him really, like, was when in January 2022, when I heard somebody was being coronated as the Raja there. Some coronation is happening as Yogadharipad or something. It was a newspaper article somebody shared in one of the WhatsApp groups which I was part of. I didn't care much. So 2021, 22 January and all, the COVID, Australia, it had a lot of issues with COVID, so I was all busy with that. But yeah, I didn't care about it. Didn't matter much about to me at that time. I didn't see anything properly, like any videos or anything was not shared much. And even though, like I'm from Central Kerala, Cochin, and most of my groups are in and around that area, or most of the people whom I deal with, nothing much in Palakkad. But then July 2022, after 2 years, I came to Kerala. I got COVID. During that time, in my grandfather's family group, I saw that a Vettatthi Raja is coming to this temple, which I talked about, right? And I said, there is no Vettatthi Raja, given the fact that uh, in 1793, May 24th or something, that was the day when last Vettatthi Raja passed away. And that's what history book says. There's no other further reference after that. Right? Now, after and that's the history I have. So I told them that no, the Vettat Raja doesn't exist and it doesn't happen. Right? This guy is not a Vettat Raja. They said, no, he's also a Yogadharipad. I said, how can a Vettat Raja be a Yogadharipad? And those people who were like, they were all up and against me. Okay, so I was in COVID. I left that there. One thing. So there is another family in Thrissur, Ullur and Chalakudi, who claim to be descendants of your Vettate Raja, right? But it's all through word of mouth, but no hard historical evidence for that. Okay, and I know that family as well. Okay, because my father's father. So this is my mother's father who is in Vettata. My father's father is from one of those families. It's called Tiruttur Madam or Chalakudi, but I forgot the madam's name. There's a Chalakudi Madam is one. Right, the Raghavan Tirupad. Same guy, the Ayurveda. Yeah, he's from one of those families, right? He's the most prominent of one of those families. My father's father was also from that Tiruttur Madam family. He was a member of that family. So they say this is the and so they told, like, yeah, the story goes by two sisters, the two sisters who ran away from it or something like that. Okay, that's the story how it goes. And these people in my grandfather's Mutashan Sillam, they told, like, oh, he also has the same story. Okay? So I thought, okay, maybe they are related or something, and I left it there. And then what happened was last year, accidentally, I met one of the members who have been doing of these families who has been doing some research accidentally. Pure accident, I'll tell you that. Over phone, pure accident. I met her and she gave me some evidences about him. Okay, so all these pictures of his old things and stuff like that. And then I started delving into it. I know that he's not Raja of Vettat. Now, Vettat and Perumbadapusuruvum has a close relationship as well, if you know. The whole reason why Dutch came in to power in Cochin is because of Vettatha Rajas being two Vettatha princes being adopted into Cochin, right? So that is, and then they were driven out by the Mutatawari, who is the country which we are part of as of now. Anyway, that's a different story. So that's how he's not a Raja of Vettat. He says he's member of Tanur Surabam. No, he's not. He's not a member of Tanur Surabam, right? And he says Triprano to Vadake Kovilakam. That's all bullshit, right? Sorry for the word, but it's all don't do that. Yeah. Anyway, he's not a Raja of Vettat. It's a purely fabricated story. I'll tell you the reason why. First, he started with Manavendra. So if you look at Manavendra, the name, he wanted to be part of Samudri family. Didn't happen. Okay. Then he wanted to be Vellatiri. Vellatiri is a question that is still there. So he looked at you would have heard about you published Tirudhanesh video as well, audio as well, right? He clearly says that is where he got this idea of Vettatharaja. Yeah, that's there's nothing more to that, right? I don't need to explain more. Right? This guy read that book, and Tirudhanesh has the evidence, has read that book, and he has published it. He has, we have published that audio, right? So anyway, this is the real, uh, what is it, history about Raja Fettup. He passed away on the 24th of May, 1793. And there has been no Raja after that. And he has a lot of other different stories, like Kuruchepada saving the wife of Parashi Raja and all those, right? And coming in here. So if he is claiming Parashi Raja married a Vettatta family member, there goes everything, right? Because Vettatta females used to marry Namboodiris only. Even Parashi Raja's family, Parashi Raja would have married someone, I don't know. Anyway, his stories are not aligning at different points. And I think you published one audio, I think, right, last month or some, sorry, I don't remember when, where before COVID, he was saying he's a part of a Latri family. And then after COVID, he completely changes his plate and puts it as Yoga Dirpad and all that. And yeah, so, and he said his grandmother told him all these stories, but then how can grandmother tell, a grandmother who passed away in 2019 tell that? And then in 2020, he says that he's part of a lottery family. And then 2022, 21, he comes and says he's part of Vettatharaja. But his grandmother passed away in 2019. So how does those things align? It doesn't. He's a real fraud. Real fraud. Yeah. Who supports him? Who doesn't support him? Tell me. I don't know. Everyone, like who Bhakti Muthu Prandaya, right? You know that the people who got mad with Bhakti. Yeah, Bhakti is required, but not to this extent to this man god or something like that. Yeah, I've had numerous conversations with a lot of people who follows him. I don't understand their logic. They are Murkha Vishwasinde with the Shamavi Samshayo Bahuri. And I believe all these people who supports him are the latter, not the former, right? I wish, right? So yeah, but it's a shameful situation. Like people who go into a temple that is created by fraud, like people cheating money, right? Building temples by using cheated money and taking dakshina of those cheated money. How long will their family, like all these things, right? I don't need to explain to all of you about all these things, but yeah, this is really bad. This is really bad. Uh, there is a retired judge from High Court, I know. You can go through my posts to see all those things. You may know it already. So people who openly do Isha Yoga Center, Coimbatore, they support him a lot. Virendra Sehwag came there last year. You remember that? Who else went there? Yeah, there's what's his name? The candidate who failed of Krishna Kumar. Yeah, from Palakkad, he goes. Uh, talking about the current people. Chomadri, Chirmukha Vaidigan. He's a Kovilakam Vaidigan. He's the first Kovilakam Vaidigan. Yeah, I've seen your video. Yeah. The Kovilakam Tantri goes there still. Yeah, these guys are, I don't know what goes into these people's mind, right? They don't, there's a saying in, like we used to, there's a film where they say, right? Avihidam ഇന്ന് അവിധത്തിൽ നാറുമ്പോൾ എന്താ പറയാ ബാക്കിയുള്ളവർ മുഴുവൻ അറിഞ്ഞു കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ടേ നമ്മൾ അറിയുള്ളൂ. അതാണ് അതിന്റെ ഒരു ഇത് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. I think they are in that sort of mindset. These Tandri, Chomadri, and all. Money, 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 tutta, cash. That's it. I think. Otherwise, they have to come out openly and say that we made a mistake. There needs to be real, like, how good these people are by the way how they respond to these allegations by saying, okay, put up my hand, say, yes, I accept that I made a mistake. He's not a proper yoga, or he's not a VETTATH RAJA, or whatever he claims to be. Right? With these evidences that are in front of them, they should actually come in front of you, or them. No. Yeah, they should come out and talk about this. Yeah, they don't do that really. Yeah, I don't agree with them. I'm waiting to come back. Like I was planning to come to India this year, but yeah, I couldn't because of certain other issues. Now I'm in US, so yeah, that's fine. So anyway, next time when I come, I intend to go and meet them personally. Yeah, most of these Nambudis, they're losing trust within the public. That is the biggest challenge, right? You are a tantri. You need to know what is good and what is wrong, right? And if somebody tells you this is wrong, they should be actually analyzing those things, right? If they don't, what does that mean about them, right? That means that they have not, they're only after money. That's what I think. Yeah. Do I have evidence? How many evidence do you need? Right? I have a lot of people who have messaged me. I have their messages, which I can prove. Right? You go to historical books. I can give you. I'll share those. I think you have those, right? Yeah, those pictures which says that he's a fraud, right? Those things. It's all there in my Facebook posts. Everything is there in my Facebook posts, right? You go through my Facebook posts. Anyone can go through my Facebook posts. You'll see those, the evidences. Now it's up to you. I have made everything transparent. The inspection is up to you all, everyone who is following him, and then you can adapt, right? You want to still stay with him? Go ahead. You want to stay with a fraud, be associated with a fake person? Go for it, right? I'm not stopping you. Go for it, mate. Go for it. Yeah, that's the way. Yeah. That's it. Yeah, yeah. Everything is there in my Facebook post. Yeah, and then you have put out some videos as well, right? So it's all contradicting history. People doesn't know history, Kerala history. That is the biggest problem. How can I approach courts? How should I? Because first thing, he hasn't done anything to me. His devotees or people who have been cheated by him should go to courts, right? He has a lot of documents. He says himself that he has gone to courts to prove that he is part of it. I haven't found any document in High Court. I have used the help of a lot of advocates to find if he has gone to any court in Kerala to prove that he is an Ambotti Thampuran, he is Raja of VETTATH or Raja of Vellattiri or something like that. Whether he has done that? No. He claims in a couple of videos that he has gone to courts. All I can find is he has gone to court to make sure that nobody encroaches into his land when he does this puja or whatever it is. Nothing more than that. He is really afraid of going to courts. Another thing, there is a court case he has with one of his neighbors. This guy really is afraid of going to courts. That's what I hear. Otherwise, do you think like with the way I have put out things in Facebook, he would go to court? He wouldn't go to court. If it was a genuine person, he would have gone to court. This guy is not genuine. 100%. He will never go to court against me. That's what I understand from this. Right? Otherwise, he should have gone by now. He cannot because his whole house of cards or palace of cards, let me call it the Kovilakam of cards, will fall down if he goes to courts. Right? I'm waiting for somebody to actually take this to court so that he comes into the court and then explains the rationale behind these things. Right? This is really him. He's a coward. That's what I believe. I'm not sure, but that's what I believe. He's a coward. It's a big statement, I know, but he's a coward. He has an approach courts, right? And again, I am not going to see what can court do. Court or police like, oh, he has gone to police and police what? I think that was something that happened. I'm not saying that happened, but something where the police DYSP or someone has actually written and given that there is no proof to prove that he's not Vettadh Raja. right? Or he is the VETTATH RAJA or something like that. I haven't seen that document. Somebody told me that, so I don't know. I can't. Don't quote me on this. But I have seen some of these. I've heard these that some police did some investigation and said that it is he doesn't have any evidence on that or something like that. I'm not sure. I haven't read or seen that. Somebody told me this. So I'm not sure. And he supposedly has a village officer who has given him something like that is member of VETTATH family or something like that. I haven't seen those documents. I don't know. I can't say anything. Right. So if they have done that, he has got. I would like to meet that village officer. Right. So we'll bring him into the court as well if somebody does that. I'm not going to do that because I don't have any evidence. If I get an evidence, I can go. I haven't got that evidence yet. I think I'll never get it. Right. He would have burnt it by now. I don't know. Right. Let us see. Anyway, I'm not going to approach courts unless somebody goes and says I'm wrong and approaches the court. I will never go. Yeah, so that's I don't need to, because all I need to do is make people aware that this is the thing. Let them analyze what he is. Let them come to a conclusion whether he's a fraud or a genuine guy, which I highly doubt because he hasn't come out and said that. Yeah. Do I have anything else to say? No, I don't have anything else to say. It's not just about this guy, right? Be careful with all these fraud or fake swamis and all those people who exist there. You don't really need anyone between you and the God. You don't need any pujari between you and God, right? You can go to the temple. Pujari is just doing a puja for you, nothing else, right? With the correct frame of mind, he does the avahanam and all those things and does the puja. For you, you directly approach the God. Don't go through these fakes or frauds and just don't believe what he says. These kind of people. Try to identify them. Look for authenticity of these people, right? Don't put him in. Don't put him as a god or things like that. Never believe temples that has been created by frauds, right? Look for the authenticity of the temples. Look for the people who are authentic. There may be people from the families like that, but then they would not be the real. They would not have learned pujas. Ask this guy whether he learned where he learned tantram and pujas from. He hasn't learned anything. He's doing it just by himself. Like, when we were children, like me and my brother, when we were children, and we used to act like pujaris in the puja muri in our temple, in our house, right? And we used to actually take it and we used to have chandanamutti there. We used to rub and make chandanams and kungumam, and we'll mix, the gurdi and all. We used to mix chunnam, the chunnamba, English, what you call that with manjal, turmeric, and then used to get the gurdi kind of water and everything. This we used to do like when I was like 4 or 5 years old and all. And we used to have wooden elephants like this high, and we used to do ulsams there, and that was one way of our play. And we used to, because Tripandra was, it's a temple atmosphere. It used to be back then. Everything was connected to the temple, and we used to do like that, right? And I see that this is nothing different what he's doing. He's building things that he thinks in his mind. He's doing things what he thinks he should be doing. It's like a child's play, and I pity those people who are with him. Yeah. So be careful about people. All these Sanadana Dharmis, fake people. Identify the fakes. Try to identify. If you can't talk to people, reach out to me if you need to know something more. Yeah. So that's what I would tell you. This guy is a fraud. 99.999% he's a fraud. Point one is like he has to come out and say that 0.1%. I don't know whether he'll come out or not, but he's a fraud. Okay. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, no problem. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's been a long deal. Thank you.